Democratic presidential billionaire candidate Michael Bloomberg is living proof that money can buy all kinds of things, but it can't buy common sense. That's why he thinks it's a winning strategy to pick Hillary Rodham Clinton as his running mate.
Hello, Iowa! I'm back!
There's an old saying, you either have it or you don't. In Hollywood, they used to have what they called the it girl. And it was that certain intangible that a movie star might have that just set them apart from everyone else. Didn't even mean that they had more talent or better ability. It just meant they had that certain it, that certain quality that people immediately said, I like them, I want to be like them, I want to be around them, I want to emulate them. That's cool. Michael Bloomberg, the guy whose personality makes it more exciting to watch paint dry, is apparently going to invest millions of dollars in advertising to try to convince you and convince me he's cool. Why, he's just like us. Yeah.
Where's my ice cream? Ah, thank you. Big gay ice cream is the best.
Now, even if you don't like Donald Trump, that you don't consider yourself a Trump person on any level, and you have this hard time understanding what is it that people love Donald Trump? Why is his approval rating so high? What is it about this man that these people just love? Okay, let's leave politics and ideology and what the president has actually accomplished aside for a moment, and let's go back to that it factor. Donald Trump has it. Michael Bloomberg does not. Case in point, Donald Trump, first president ever as the Grand Marshal of the Daytona 500. And he does a flyover with Air Force One that the crowd loved. The Beast, you know, his famous armored bulletproof presidential limo, was the lap car. And I mean, people just love Donald Trump. He's got the it factor. There is a wow about him. Love him, hate him. One thing you can't do is ignore him or be indifferent about him. Just the invoking of his name gets an immediate reaction from people. Either a yeah, or they just wig out and get triggered. Michael Bloomberg does not have any type of it, wow, hate, love. In fact, I'm sure that most of what's happening right now is, Michael who? What? He's what? Running for president? Leave me alone. I got enough problems. I don't need it. What? Who? That's Michael Bloomberg. But yet, he's paying up to $1 million a day for Facebook ads, social media ads, television ads. What do we got? 260 some odd days until the election. You do realize that Michael Bloomberg can spend $1 million a day and not miss it? The problem is, it's not really that effective. He's not connecting. You either have the ability to connect with people or you don't. Now, I'm going to say this even as a pastor, as someone in the ministry. There are pastors who are, very knowledgeable. Their theology is straight. They have a good heart. They're sincere. And they can't draw people. They don't connect with people. They either preach over their heads or they come across as, somebody you can't really talk to, or, they kind of look at you like you don't live in the real world. I'm one of those pastors that I have the ability to connect with people, to talk to people. A lot of it has to do with the way I was brought up middle class, working class, have always worked from the time I was a teenager. I've been involved in sports. I've been involved in the arts. I have been involved in education. And it's funny, for me to be involved in education when as a high school student, the only thing I cared about going to high school for was I played ball and I liked the girls. That was pretty much it. Something clicked when I got to college and I began to take some things about life seriously. And I think it's where a lot of people are, and I know how to talk to and relate to people. Donald Trump knows how to connect to real people. That's one of the reasons the establishment hates him so much, because the establishment is all about this little oligarch, this little clique. Some are Republicans, some are Democrats, but they're all part of this same elite, egotistical, arrogant, snob mindset. They all go to each other's parties and cocktail parties and dinners, and they all run in the same social circles, and they all vacation in, hoity-toity kind of places, and they just all kind of intermix and intermingle and inbreed with each other. And people know that they have focus groups to tell them what they should say to the voter and how to connect with the voter, like when Elizabeth Warren, took her phone and did the video of her in the kitchen having a beer with her husband and the dog came in. And the only reason she did that was, well, AOC does it. Yeah, as much as AOC is a dingbat, a wingnut, and a libloon, and by the way, she's getting primaried, that whole sowing and reaping, or karma, depending on your theology or ideology. AOC built her whole brand on, we're going to primary any Democrat that doesn't line up with what we want, the radical far left and the Green New Deal and the squad. And now she's getting primaried. Can you say, boomerang, reap what you sow? But one thing AOC has, and it certainly isn't brains, she's got it. There is an it factor about AOC. People want to hear what she says. Now, for those of us on the right, we want to hear what she says so we have something to laugh at, make fun of, and lampoon. There are people on the left that think she is just as serious as a fat guy having a heart attack. I get it. There's a level of AOC's it factor that makes her dangerous, but nonetheless, she's got it. And whoever tries to primary her better have a little bit of it. That said, Michael Bloomberg doesn't have it on any level. He comes across as your typical stuck-up, snob, rich, white guy. He's old, he's pale, he's stale, and he's not connecting with people. So what does he do? Controlled leaks. He wants Hillary Rotham Clinton to be his running mate. Pray tell, who thought that was a good idea? Now, some people are saying, well, Hillary leaked that. Really? There is this thing called a controlled leak. And I am sure that all these media people and political consultants that he has hired have told him to do this. Let me pause right here on this thought. Again, the big difference between him and Donald Trump. Remember, Donald Trump, who pretty much self-funded his presidential campaign, ran lean and mean, and he wasn't going to have focus groups, and he wasn't going to have all these political professionals and all these strategists tell him how he ought to run his campaign, and what to say and how to think, and what the people want to hear. He didn't do any of that, which irritated the elite to no end. He's not running a conventional campaign. No, he was true blue. I'm going to tell you what I think. If you agree with me, vote for me. If not, whatever. Michael Bloomberg is that very thing that supposedly the progressive left hates. He is your calculated, purposeful, pandering, lying politician. That's exactly what he is. Take his little position or changing position on stop and frisk. Stop and frisk did work. It did cut crime down. But when we got to hear his personal views about what he actually thinks of minorities and black people, this is going to be a problem for Michael Bloomberg.
95% of your murderers and murder victims fit one MO. You can just take the description, Xerox it, and pass it out to all the cops. They are male minorities, 15 to 25. That's true in New York, it's true in virtually every city. And that's where the real crime is. You've got to get the guns out of the hands of the people that get killed. So you want to spend the money, put a lot of cops in the street, put those cops where the crime is, which means in the minority neighborhoods. So this is one of the unintended consequences is people say, oh my God, you are arresting kids for marijuana that are all minorities. Yes, that's true. Why? Because we put all the cops in the minority neighborhoods. Yes, that's true. Why we do it? Because that's where all the crime is. And the way you get the guns out of the kids' hands is to throw them up against the wall and frisk them. And then they say, oh, I don't want that, I don't want to get caught, so they don't bring the gun. They still have a gun, but they leave it at home.
And then let's not forget how he really feels about poor people and taxes, and that it's good for them.
Some people say, well, taxes are regressive, but in this case, yes, they are. That's the good thing about them, because the problem is in people that don't have a lot of money. And so higher taxes should have a bigger impact on their behavior and how they deal with themselves. So I listen to people saying, oh, we don't want to tax the poor. Well, we want the poor to live longer so that they can get an education and enjoy life. And that's why you do want to do exactly what a lot of people say you don't want to do. The question is, do you want to pander to those people, or do you want to get them to live longer? And there's just no question. If you raise taxes on full sugary drinks, for example, they will drink less, and there's just no question that full sugar drinks are one of the major contributors to obesity, and obesity is one of the major contributors to heart disease and cancer and a variety of other things.
So this out-of-touch, non-it guy who hasn't even really been tested in a primary to see if he can really win this thing, he's just trying to buy his way in, has done a controlled leak to see what our reaction would be by floating the name Hillary, Hillary, Hillary. Okay, now let me get this straight. Hillary, who has tried to run for the presidency twice herself and failed, herself is seen as one of these non-authentic, lying, conniving, career politicians, and of course corrupt, is now hooking up with the non-it guy. And by the way, you know, some of us said months ago, in fact over a year ago, I started to say, she gonna run again, she gonna run again. Here's today's trivia question, boys and girls. If Michael Bloomberg takes her as his running mate, and if he were by some catastrophic event of the cosmos win the election, how long will he get to enjoy being president before he has an accident or commits suicide and Hillary becomes the president? Exactly. Only an idiot or somebody with a death wish would pick Hillary Rodham Clinton to be their running mate, because they will meet with an unfortunate, unexpected, totally out of nowhere demise so that she gets to become Presidente. Bloomberg, you're really proving you don't have any political savvy. You're really not that smart, even though you're really rich. You're trying to buy your way in. You might try buying some brains, because you haven't got any of that either. Because if you take Hillary Rodham Clinton as your running mate, you better have your family start planning your funeral now. Well, that's it for this rant. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give us a big thumbs up and a like. Please share this video to your social media platforms. Make sure you're a subscriber to the channel. Smack the bell for notification. You got to also check the word all, that you get all notifications of my videos. Otherwise, YouTube will pick and choose what you get to see. And of course, you know what they're going to pick for you to see? Nothing. So check the word all. Thank you, and we've got more to say.